All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm gonna give it an extra minute and wait the people to come in, and then we get started. All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the to the spring Clarendon Live Entertainment group meeting. Um, I appreciate everybody for coming and their participation. Can you let me know if you see the slides moving?
Yep, they look good.
All right, thank you. All right. So again, welcome to this meeting. My name is Cedric Sutherland from the Arlington County Planning Division, and I'm the staff liaison to this group. The purpose of the CLEG meeting is to provide a forum for the restaurant community and residents to address concerns or issues that may arise from the concentration of live entertainment uses in the Clarendon neighborhood. And I would like to thank everyone for attending. Before we begin, I would like to cover a few items to orient everyone to the virtual environment. Today's meeting is available to stream from the county website via Microsoft Teams, via a Microsoft Teams link. There's also a dial-in phone option for those who wish to use it. If you lose your internet connectivity during today's meeting, please reconnect with us by phone. Please keep your video turned off and microphone muted until you are called on. These tools are located as icons in your toolbar. If you do not see this toolbar, try tapping or clicking on the center of your screen, and it will pop up. All public comments must be shared verbally for the record. When called upon to speak, you must unmute yourself by clicking the microphone icon. We do not have the ability to unmute you. If you are dialing in by phone, press *6 to unmute. When you are finished, please mute your microphone again. Um, Lastly, this is a public forum. Today's meeting will be recorded and posted to the county website. All information associated with today's meeting, whether written or spoken, is subject to the Freedom of Information Act. Um, I would like to start off the meeting by taking the role of the representatives for the member establishments in the community group. Um, so first establishment I'll call is Barbell. If anyone is here from Barbell, please note your presence. Okay. Also, if you have if you are representing more than one establishment, please let me know all the establishments you are representing. Next is Lion Hall.
This is Sean. I'm representing Lion Hall, Liberty Tavern, and Northside Social.
Thank you. Pamplona.
This is Johnny representing Pamplona.
Thank you. O'Sullivan's.
Des here representing O'Sullivan.
Thank you. Spider Kelly's.
Nick here from Spider Kelly's. Nick.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Eloise from Bee Live and Cocoa Bees.
Thank you. I see Mexicali Blues in the chat already. Is somebody from Don Tito here? Okay. I saw Wilson Hardware, Ferris from Wilson Hardware in the chat. Is somebody here from Buena Vita in Ambar?
Hi, this is Melvin from Buena Vida, and I could do Ambar as well.
Thank you. I see Renegade in the chat. Anyone here from Clarendon Ballroom?
Okay.
Hello?
Back up here, this is Josh here from Clarendon Ballroom.
Thank you. And I saw Andrew from Smokecraft in the chat as well. I'll come back at the end of the meeting to see if anybody else has joined. Also, I see John Carton and Andrew Root from Lion Village. Is anyone else here to represent Lion Village Civic Association?
Just the two of us.
Thank you. Anyone from Lion Park? Okay, moving on. Clarendon Courthouse. I saw Martha Casey join for Ashton Heights. Is anyone else here from the Ashton Heights Civic Association? Okay, moving on. Clarendon Alliance. Okay. And also the Chamber of Commerce. I saw John Musso in the chat as well. So that concludes the attendance portion of this. Next is to give a brief overview of our agenda. Typically, we'll walk through first presentations from county departments, identify any issues or anything that they may have noticed over the last 6 months with the operation of some of the establishments. Please feel free. We can follow up with questions if something comes up. All right. So the first, and then from after that, we'll move into comments from the community, and then comments from the restaurant, and then close out with other topics of notes, and then conclude the meeting. First step from county staff, we have public health.
Hello, this is Candace from Public Health. As a reminder, to maintain your trash and trash areas, keep your lids closed, keep your grease containers clean, because we're going into spring and summer, and you have rodents. We have rodent concerns that we are receiving for shared dumpsters. So if we can all work together to maintain those trash areas, that'll keep the rodent activity down. As a reminder, please make sure you have certified food managers in your food establishments. We are doing inspections. We do inspections after hours. And those are things that we will be checking. So those are the announcements for public health at this time.
All right, thank you. Next, you have anyone from police.
Hey Cedric, hey everybody, it's Sam from Business Outreach Unit. A couple of things I have going on. Virginia is rolling out new licenses. So I'm hoping that Virginia ABC will also roll out new ID guides to better provide some more more information regarding the new licenses and the new features. Once I have that information, I'll pass it out to the establishment so you guys know when looking at IDs. We have created a Sunday detail that should be going through the end of May. Sorry, we're in April, end of May. Right now it's 4 officers and a supervisor. We still have our Friday and Saturday details. They will be cut a little bit differently. So instead of 12, we might have 10 out there to help create a Sunday detail as well, since we're seeing a high volume on Sundays. Please keep an eye out for your noise while you're following the noise ordinance. And then we are getting ready for Cinco de Mayo. If anybody has any questions or concerns regarding Cinco, you can contact me. We will have officers out there throughout the day in case anything goes wrong. And if anybody needs any trainings, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have updates. Anyone here from the fire marshal's office? Okay, next we'll move on to zoning. So want to hear from the zoning enforcement. Okay, next we have ISD code enforcement. I believe we have someone here. Charles, you mute yourself, please.
All right, again, this is Charles Wilson with Code Enforcement. Nice to see you guys again. Been a while since we got together. What I would like to bring to establishments' attention is that very few of them, when they are cited with violations, it takes a very long time for them to come into compliance. Bear in mind that with your use permit, you sign an agreement with the county that you will not be any of the county code or ordinance. You will not be in violation of any of those things. So when we're out there doing our inspection, we'll point things out to you. Please make it a conscious effort to come into compliance. I'm not going to call a name, any establishment name here, but there's one outstanding violation. I understand there was a permitting issue during the pandemic, and things are getting back to normal. So it shouldn't take you 2 years to get a permit to do something. That's way too long. Okay, our normal process is we cite somebody, you don't come into compliance, the next step is to go to court. So I don't think any of you guys have time to leave your business to start running to court. All right, but if I can't get compliance from anyone, there's nothing much I can do. I can't send a contractor to do the work. The judge may have to decide on that. That's what I have.
All right, thank you, Charles. That is important. Thank you for noting that compliance with all county codes, state, federal codes, to ensure that keeping a safe property building, the safety of yourselves, your staff, the patrons. It's important that you comply with the codes and come into conformance. And we're not trying to come in and put the hammer on people, but we like to compel compliance first, and that's the type of approach that I believe all enforcement agencies take, to try to get you into compliance first, and then if that doesn't happen, the next step will have to unfortunately be enforcement of some type, notice of violations and things of that sort, and that can affect your use permit when you come up for review. So thank you for pointing that out, Charles. And next is me in regards to planning items related to the planning office in terms of live entertainment use permit. Most of you know, right after the last time we met, the county board renewed all live entertainment use permits. We also included a new establishment, East West Cafe, as well as Chicken and Whiskey. East West Cafe has been open for a while. Chicken and Whiskey is currently under construction. And I forgot to call, do a roll call for those establishments at the beginning, but I'll circle back at the end. Also, with the renewal of those use permits, we took the opportunity to reformat and update condition language. Hopefully, it's easier for everybody to read and understand, especially in terms of your hours of operation and things of that sort. Upcoming, you have the review of your live entertainment use permits scheduled for the county board on May 13th. Again, with the county board approval in November, we wanted to take a look and see if the if the use permit conditions have been working, if they need if they haven't been working, and things of that sort. So we took a short cycle. We also wanted to move the use permit review from November to May, typically in a ramp up to a warm weather season where the live entertainment activity begins to become more active into the warmer weather. And this becomes a reminder for establishments about their use permit conditions and expectations for the operation of their establishments. And just a reminder to review your live entertainment conditions. Do it quarterly, every couple weeks, whatever you feel you need to, just to make sure that you're operating within the bounds of those conditions. Staff, zone enforcement did go out several weeks ago at nighttime and just to check to see if people were complying with the conditions. They were happy to see that one of the new conditions that we added was that establishments have their conditions on hand and ready for upon inspection by county staff or by citizens. And so most of the establishments had it ready for us. They were either at the door or somebody could easily access it within a couple minutes. And so that was impressive. Please keep up the good work. And just remember to review those conditions and stay on top of it. As you get new staff, as you change managers, just have those discussions periodically to make sure you're in compliance. Next, we can move on to our community feedback to see if there are any issues from the community that hopefully we can resolve here. If not, it may take some other time to resolve and circle back and come up with a solution. But I want to offer the floor to any of the community residents or groups to speak up. So please raise your hand in the chat if you can, and I'll call on you. Thank you. John, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Cedric.
You're welcome.
I have a couple of questions. First question is, with these conditions, when is music allowed to be played outside the establishment, on the sidewalk, or in the courtyard area adjacent to the establishment?
Okay.
And then secondly, who's charged with enforcing that?
Okay, let me pull it up real quick. I don't know it off the top of my head, but these the hours align with the current standards of the zoning ordinance for outdoor cafes. And so the sound could be played on the outdoor cafe, on the sidewalk or in the rooftop area between 9 and 11 p.m. 9 a.m. and 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, and 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. on Sundays through Thursdays. and in enforcement of that, typically during the business hours, is code enforcement. During off hours, I believe it's the same system that we worked out. If there's a complaint and police observe that that music is playing outside of these hours, they'll write they'll write a note and they will send it to code enforcement, and then code enforcement will follow up with the notice of violation. So that's how we are enforcing it. Um, Sam, if I mistakenly said something, please let me know.
Nope, that's correct, Cedric. So what will usually happen is if we get a noise complaint, the officer will go out, ask them to turn it down, write a noise violation report, and then they'll give it to me. I come in on Tuesdays and send it to code enforcement and zoning for them to take civil action. Remember, this is a civil issue, therefore police will not be issuing civil violations or criminal violations. It will all have to come through code and zoning, but that's what we usually do in our process.
Thank you.
Okay. How does that relate to item K, where it says the applicant agrees that windows and doors shall remain closed, with the exception of allowing passage of patrons and goods into and out of the establishment?
So John, on the noise violation form, there is like a little checkbox that say, are the windows open? Yes or no. Is the door open? Is the door being propped open? Yes or no, where the officer can go ahead and check all those things.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Sam. The only other question I have is, what questions come up is, what's the required sidewalk width that's required between seating areas, allowing for the walking area on the sidewalk, particularly on the north side of Wilson Boulevard? What's the width that's required there for people walking?
It varies. It depends on the relation of the building to the sidewalk and how that building is entitled. So if you on a site plan building, there are various sidewalk widths and things that were approved by the county board through the site plan process. However, for those properties that are by right and they come in through zoning for outdoor cafe, we typically require at least a minimum 6 feet. But again, that can vary based upon site plan conditions. Also, use permit conditions for sidewalks that are on public right of way that requires a use permit and bound by use permit may have different widths depending on the review and staff's comfortability with what's going on there. So it all varies, but it typically our main standard is kind of 6 feet is the typical minimum that the county requires. But again, those things can vary depending on a myriad of things.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Cedric. That's all I have.
All right. You're welcome. Was there anything else that anyone from the community had wanted to raise?
Well, Cedric, I'll ask one more question, and that is,
yes.
I know we had a serious incident last Sunday night, and I was glad to hear no one was injured. I just wondered if there have been any other previous incidents like that within the last 6 months, with the exception of being the hostage situation at the Wells Fargo Bank. But were there any other serious situations like that?
Not that I recall. Not that I recall, and I can refer to police as they typically track those type
I can talk
activities.
if you want.
Thank you.
So we haven't had any big incidences like the brandishing back last Sunday. There have been fights and some things like that. John, I know we talked about an assault by mob case, one that happened one night when a guy just basically said he liked a female shoes, and then the females and her friends jumped him. I want to let you all know that it's not, if you see a rise in assault and batteries in Clarendon, it's also a rise in assault and batteries basically everywhere else too. So it's not just this area, but it's also all around Arlington. It's a nationwide problem at this point. But that brandishing was probably the biggest issue we've had, other than just regular fights and assault and batteries. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sam.
If that closes out the community questions. Andrew, I see Andrew has a question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, actually, I just have a general question for Samantha. I just wondered, where does the budget for the Clarendon detail come from? Does it come out of the general coffers from the police, or where?
Cap, do you know this? Our Captain Canigliaro is on. I believe it comes from the police budget, that we allocate a certain amount of our budget to Clarendon. It's against our policy as a police department that businesses that serve alcohol can hire us directly. So it has to come through either the county or our budget. Cap?
Yeah, the county gives us a budget every year for off-duty, but the majority of our off-duty money that we pay actually comes out of the money that we have saved from the officers that we're short.
Oh,
so we're basically paying for our own off-duty employment by not having enough officers to work.
Well, I guess kind of a mixed blessing then. Okay, well, thank you.
Yes, no problem.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. There are no other questions or comments from the community. I'd like to move to the restaurant community. And before we get started, I do want to highlight last week that we staff and the county board did receive a letter from the Chamber of Commerce indicating requesting that the participation in the Arlington Restaurant Initiative program be voluntary instead of mandatory through the use permit conditions. At this point, because the letter was addressed directly to the board, staff does not have a position on it, and we have nothing to comment on until we receive direction from the board through the county manager. So I just wanted to get that out the way, and then I wanted to start with the restaurant comments from Andrew Daniel from Smokecraft. He did send an email stating that he had something to bring to the table. So I will let him go first. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Cedric. I want to first off thank the Chamber of Commerce for submitting that regarding the Arlington Restaurant Initiative. My concerns also are with the Arlington Restaurant Initiative as part of the use conditions. It was something that when we reviewed this back in November, as a requirement for restaurants to participate in this, I don't think that I or many other operators, and I won't speak for them, but I would assume if I didn't see this, that many others didn't as well, realized the implications of some of the programming with the ARI, and specifically for us, and I wanted to bring this to other operators' attentions because I think it changes people's thought processes. I was alerted through the ARI process that we had to review staff handbooks and manuals and update them per Arlington County, basically verbatim. This was something that we brought to the attention of our attorneys and insurers, as they are the ones who help craft our manuals, and they had advised us that we could not accept ARI standards from a liability perspective, that there was wording of concern that would put increased financial liability on the establishments that were not acceptable. I want to point out very clearly that I am very supportive of the program as a whole. I'm supportive of staff training, and I'm supportive of responsible alcohol management programs. I think slipped in here were the liabilities that were all of a sudden going to get shifted onto us inadvertently. And I felt that that was slipped in very quietly and unintentionally. And the county board, in my opinion, had not read all the fine line details when that was slipped in with the additional use rules. So I wanted to raise that as a concern as the use rules are updated, because I don't believe it's anyone's intent for us to put increased liability onto operators as was inadvertently done here. But I think all operators should be aware of it and review the ARI with their own insurers and attorneys accordingly.
Thank you, Andrew. Does anyone have response to that comment? It looks like make sure looks like nobody is unmuted or have a response to that comment. So thank you, Andrew, for that comment. Are there any other comments or concerns from the restaurant group or community? If there's none, I'll open up the floor. Does any of the community members have any questions or comments about Andrew's comment? Hearing silence, that means none. So we can move on to other topics. And I just wanted to remind everyone who does have a TOSA or temporary outdoor seating area that the county manager has extended this permission through the continuity of government action taken for the pandemic through August 15th of this year. At that time, we'll be asking that people remove their TOSAs. However, I would like to note that staff is working on the food study, the future of outdoor dining. And so within the next month, you will start seeing information about some of our preliminary recommendations and have an opportunity to provide comment on those. And this is we're working diligently to get this to the board for action in July, so it could be ready for establishment to have a way to provide outdoor dining in the future. So past August 15th. So if you have any questions, please see the link, sign up for notices and email alerts for for additional items that may be coming out soon. And I see that Andrew from Smokecraft has his hand up.
Yeah, hi Cedric. Sorry to jump back in here, but I've been very vocal with a lot of members within planning and with the chamber regarding the outdoor foods delays. As you mentioned, right now you're talking about the county board approving whatever these guidelines are, not happening until July with the expiration of the current stuff going on in August. That doesn't leave any time for establishments to apply for whatever the new recommendations may be at that time. especially since the county board is on vacation in August. I know that this is not the forum for final decisions on this, but I do want to just point out that due to the continued delays in zoning or planning's movement on this study, that it certainly should be recommended sooner rather than later that an additional extension probably through November needs to occur to allow establishments really the 3 months necessary to get themselves in front of the board. Not to mention the fact that there are going to be hundreds of establishments clamoring to get in front of the board on this topic. So it's something that should be on the forefront of planning's mind that the current extensions are not sufficient based on the current status of this program.
Thank you for that comment. We do recognize it. That's why we're moving very fast to make sure that we can get this stuff done, and also have recommendations in a pathway forward. Once the toasts expire, and hopefully, whatever we come up with will be satisfactory. I don't imagine, depending on what the board does, that at 12:01 a.m. somebody's going to come out and issue you $100 fine. I don't think that will happen. I think there is some recognition that there is a time delay and a time crunch, and so we're trying to figure out how to best navigate that to not cause further impact to the businesses. So hopefully that leaves you some comfort that we're not putting you out there on the island to get stuck with enforcement fines and violations. Anybody else have a comment? All right. With that, wrap up. The next meeting will be fall of 2023. So please look forward for announcements coming through. Again, we have the county board meeting scheduled for the May 13th regular hearing date. If something should happen and items get pulled, that will be kicked to the Tuesday recess meeting, which will be I believe the 18th, May 18th, no later than 6:30. But I will follow up with those establishments or all of the establishments should that happen. Again, if you need any help, if any establishment need any help or struggling and need some assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out to Arlington Economic Development, the Biz Launch team. They have tools and things to help businesses in the county hopefully stay open and things of that sort. So please use that resource. Again, please, if you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Also, I know you guys are comfortable with talking to Sam. Please reach out to Sam. She can contact me as well. We're here for everybody, residents, businesses, to make sure that, we have a nice and thriving community. So if there are no more questions or concerns, that will conclude this meeting. And I appreciate everybody for their participation.
Thank you, Cedric.
All right,
Thanks,
thank you.
Cedric.
All right, thank you. Oh, one more thing. I forgot. The role. I'm sorry. Is there somebody here from Chicken and Whiskey?
Yes, my name is Christian. I'm representing Chicken and Whiskey.
Okay, and East West Cafe.
Hey, Cedric, real quick. This is Fernando from Barbell. I logged in a little late, so
Okay.
I'll be in attendance.
All right, thank you. Anyone from Don Tito?
Yes, Nick Cordero.
All right, thank you, Nick. Looks like we got a full house. Anybody from East West Cafe again? Okay. Anybody from the community representing Lion Village, Lion Park, Clarendon Courthouse, Ashton Heights, the Clarendon Alliance, or any additional members from the chamber? With that, thank you again. And please have a great evening.
Thanks, Cedric.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.